Hello, welcome back to the woods. So after my last video about my little camp out, I had quite a few questions about the loadout I was carrying. So that's what we're going to look at in this video. What was in my pack, so that if you're out for a day and a night in this slightly warmer weather, I might give you a few ideas on what to take. So we'll start off with the pack itself, and it's my Swedish LK35. It's a nice simple pack, but with this particular frame, it's also quite a heavy pack. So why did I take that when it's particularly warm? Well, it's an external framed pack, and although your back still sweats, this external frame allows air to pass in behind, and it allows that sweat to evaporate quicker and easier. So it's helping to keep you nice and cool. As I said, simple design, very robust. An awful lot of people have got these as their standard bushcraft pack. My one's been slightly modified in that I've put some mesh around the outside just to allow me to stash a bit of stuff around the outside. That's probably going to change, because what I have found is the mesh around the outside doesn't expand enough. I want to put actual mesh expanding pockets on the side just to give me that little bit more volume, but more of that later on. Another item that I'm probably going to need in a hurry through the course of the day, particularly with this weather being so warm, is water. So in the side I have one Nalgene water bottle, and one GI metal mug. And that's about it on that side. Turning the pack round, however, over on this side I've got my shelter element and my wet weather element. So I've got a Helicon Tex USGI poncho, good lightweight bit of kit, used as my waterproof, because this will go over me and my pack if it chucks it down with rain, but I can also use this as a lightweight shelter option too. To go with that, I've got 4 split dogwood pegs, and if you go back through my simple stick projects, this is one of the simple little projects that you can have a go at yourself. Once they dry out, they're lovely and light, tough as nails, and a great bit of kit. With those, I've got my cord set, but I've also got my pruning saw as well, handy for if I need firewood out on the trail or if I'm harvesting bits and pieces. And for the outside of the pack, that's it. So opening the pack up, I've got a few other bits and pieces, all stuff that's going to help keep you comfortable overnight. I've got my shelter covered, so in here I've got my food, more water. I've also got a little bit of warm kit and some stuff to sleep in. Also, a set of sunglasses, my fuel for my stove, and this is my little homemade stove. If you go back through my videos, you'll see there's a little video on how to make these. Great bit of kit, very efficient to use, and they're pretty good on fuel as well, and ideal for where you don't want to have a fire because you don't want to leave any trace that you've been there. I've also got my windshield and this is my mini Wanigan, because I'm cooking out in the field. This gives me a chopping board, selection of herbs and spices, dedicated knife, and a couple of utensils, all to help me be able to cook good food out in the field. my mainstay cooking pot and lid, and this is one of the bushcraft store water bottles and cups. Single skinned water bottle so I can boil water in it if I need to, and then this great little cup come cooking pot. And what I like about this one is you've got the bail handle on the top, you've got butterfly handles on there, and you've also got pressed into the outside the graduations for measuring stuff out. Unlike the ones that are etched, which gradually wear off or discolour, these ones that are pressed into the steel don't. I found this to be an excellent bit of kit, and it's a lot cheaper than the Pathfinder set. So yeah, worth having a look. Really, really like this little bit of kit. I've then got my spoon and my all-important tea bags in my little birch container. And that's my cooking gear. Next we're going to move on to my warm kit, my stuff for staying out, the stuff that keeps me comfortable. I've got my wool hoodie, this is the light one. Great for chucking on if it gets a little bit cooler in the evening. Also this time of year, great for sleeping in. Really good, useful, comfy item. I've got my air mattress. This is an out kit one. They're relatively cheap. There's a lot of these around nowadays. I was a little bit dubious because basically they're like a little lilo. Really like this. Easy to inflate, easy to deflate, very comfortable in use. You don't really, certainly this time of year, notice the cold ground with it. Good bit of kit. Woolly beanie, just for keeping the old head warm while you sleep. My mini Moore scarf doubles as my sleeping bag liner as well, adds that little bit of warmth if it does get a little bit chilly, but also helps to keep my sleeping bag clean. I can also obviously use it as a scarf. I've then got this, and this is my USGI poncho liner, and it's the one that I modified, and if you look up in my videos Super Ruby, you'll see what I've done to it. I can use it as a piece of warm kit, I can also use it as a lightweight sleeping bag, and this inside a shelter with my little mini Moore scarf. When the temperatures are as high as they have been at night recently, which you're looking at anywhere between about 14 and 18 degrees C, you don't need much more than this. Great item, light to carry, very versatile. And then my last couple of bits, my wash kit, just so I can scrub up. It's also got my soap in here which helps to keep the pans clean, airbrush, etc. And also my insect repellent. It's not too bad during the day, but certainly when you stop in the evening and you're still when you're cooking, the bugs start to bite, so a decent insect repellent is an absolute must. So that's the bulk of the kit, the stuff that I've got in the pack anyway. Now I know some of you are going to thinking, well, I didn't have any lighting and there was no cutting tools. There was nothing to light a fire. Well, I've got my little EDC patch that lives on my belt, and in there I've got my German Army penknife. I've got my little Olight i3T, and I've got a Light My Fire ferro rod. So on those bases, cutting, candling, I'm covered. I've also got a source of combustion, so I've got stuff that I can use for getting a fire going if things go wrong. Some people will also say, oh, but you haven't got an axe and you haven't got a big saw. Well, there was a little pruning saw, and do you really need an axe this time of year? No. Even in the heart of winter, you can get by without one. I did for many years. If I need it for hammering tent pegs in, well, I can use a rock or a piece of wood, which is what I ended up doing in the end anyway. As far as water goes, I'm carrying 2 litres. I was going out late in the day, coming back early in the morning, so I know 2 litres is probably going to be enough. However, in the bottom of my rucksack, I also carry an empty bladder bag, which allows me to fill up en route. When I plan my route, I plan so that there are resupply points for my water along the way. Now, I know everyone won't agree with my choices. Some will, some won't. To me, it's all about what you're comfortable with. This time of year, with the heat and the humidity, you want to try and reduce the weight as much as you can, but to a sensible level, because there is always a chance that something might go wrong, the weather might change, etc. while you're out. What I was carrying was the bare minimum that I'm comfortable with on a trip like this at this time of year, plus a few extras in the way of food and my little woolen hoodie that I could chuck on if things got really, really cold. So that's it from me. That's my little top tip on a loadout for, well, this time of year. It's hot, it's humid, keep it simple, keep it fairly minimal, but make sure you've got all your bases covered. I think that's everything. Remember, if you like this video, then hit that like button, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share. We like people who share the videos. Brilliant. You are the best if you share these videos. So get out there and share them. Oh, you can always follow me over on Instagram and Facebook. The links are down below. It's in the description box. Click those links. It will take you to my page and you can see some of the stuff that I'm up to pretty much all the time. There's also a link there to my Patreon page. Go over and have a look at that if you want to get a bit more involved, help support the channel, etc, etc. Follow the link. There's also a link to my Etsy shop. Over on my Etsy shop you will find all manner of things. The Greencraft patch. You will also find some of my pouches. I am going to do a resupply on EDC light pouches, but that won't be until I get back from holiday. There is also still the leather cap badges in the process of we're just trying to sort out something with the design, but they will be coming up for you, Sam Adler, because you keep asking, but they are on their way, I promise. Also over there are the Fubar headbands. You saw them in there, and they are a good bit of kit. They're quite popular. We've sold a few of those this week, so get in there while there are still some there. On that note, there is a pouch in the pipeline. I designed one. I've thought about it. I'm going to change it very, very slightly and do something slightly different with it, which I think overall will make a bit more sense. Well, I think that's everything. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe in the woods.